In this WrestleTalk news, wrestlers leaving both WWE and AEW, WWE going to court, an update on Big E and more. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos, because every subscribe to WrestleTalk is also a happy birthday wish to my best friend, MJF.
Support WrestleTalk!
Happy birthday for yesterday, MJF, where he turned 26 years old, meaning he's already one of the best all-round professional wrestlers in the world. At the same age, I lost my job and was unemployed for about 9 months. He's better than me, and I know it. I was so scared. But not everyone recognizes Max's brilliance, as his own mother has tweeted, "Happy birthday to this once sweet, adorable, loving, angelic, innocent baby boy. I don't know what the happened to you or where you went, but today I will choose to remember this child and pray he will be back someday soon." No stranger to complex family dynamics with her former NXT faction, The Way, Candice LeRae could reportedly become a free agent in a matter of months. Fightful Select is reporting LeRae's WWE contract is set to expire this spring. LeRae has been off NXT TV since late last year with pregnancy. Usually when a wrestler misses time on their deal because of an injury, like Rey Mysterio or Brody Lee, WWE freezes their contract and just adds the recovery period at the end of the term. But those pesky US employment laws for some reason protect women who have just given birth to children, and it's believed in the company that WWE won't be able to freeze her contract while she's out on maternity leave. Oh, there's the border of ethics. According to Fightful, those in NXT don't expect LeRae to make her return by the time the deal runs out, and a new contract or extension of her existing one hasn't been discussed either, apparently because they don't want to bother LeRae while she's recovering. A lot has changed since Candice last appeared in NXT. Not only has the company undergone a midlife crisis, getting a paint job, firing William Regal, effectively removing Triple H from power, and rebranding it as the very sports entertainment-focused NXT 2.0, but Candice's life has changed dramatically too, with her husband Johnny Gargano choosing not to renew his WWE contract after it expired in December, and LeRae giving birth to the couple's debut child, who is awesomely named Quill Gargano, getting the Guardians of the Galaxy gimmick right out the womb. But despite huge fan demand and Gargano teasing himself on his live streams, he hasn't turned up in AEW. Yet. Apparently both Johnny and Candice are on good terms with WWE, and the company would like to have them back if at all possible. The choice between AEW and WWE was said to be not as straightforward for Gargano as someone like, say, Adam Cole, who was set for a doomed manager spot if called up to the main roster. According to Dave Meltzer, Gargano was offered a trainer-wrestler role within NXT 2.0, which would be a far more stable job for the new family. Well, as stable as a job in WWE can be, I guess. Do you think Candice will join Johnny and leave NXT? Let me know in the comments. But she's not the only wrestler leaving a major North American promotion. Before we get on with the rest of the episode, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor, Incogni, a new service from our great friends at Surfshark that protects your privacy and helps you get your personal data back from the shady corporations that are selling it. And the first 100 people will get 20% off Incogni using our code WrestleTalk at the checkout or by clicking the link in the video description below. Your personal information is being sold online without you even knowing about it. Like, right now, some company is making money by telling another company you're in the 18 to 49 demographic and you like swole Pokemon. Well, maybe not that specific example, but they're very likely selling your address, email, phone number, social security number, and more. But you actually have the right to request that information is removed. But to do it yourself with all the different data brokers would take years. This is where Incogni comes in, because it does it all automatically. All you have to do is create your account, grant Incogni the right to represent you, and then kick back with your swole Pokemon of choice and watch them run through online data aggregators like Roman Reigns squashing SmackDown's upper mid-card. Get control of your data back now and protect it from being leaked by corporate breaches by signing up to Incogni using our link below or the code WrestleTalk at checkout, and act fast because the first 100 people will get 20% off. Jam that jam and protect your data. Just a few months ago, everything seemed like one-way traffic to Tony Khan's house. But ever since Kevin Owens decided to re-sign with WWE in December, we've seen a number of wrestlers recommit to Vince McMahon, including Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, and possibly AEW founder Cody Rhodes. And now it's not just wrestlers leaving AEW to go to WWE. Some are just leaving AEW because they're not getting the opportunities they once were. Joey Janela was one of the main mid-carders of AEW when it first launched, being amongst its initial month of signings in January 2019. He was one of the hottest indie talents, being so popular he could run his own gimmick wrestling shows like Joey Janela's Spring Break. His hardcore style made him a fixture on the early pay-per-views, wrestling an unsanctioned match against Jon Moxley at Fyter Fest and an awesome three-way against Jimmy Havoc and Darby Allin at All Out. He would wrestle occasionally on Dynamite in its first few months, including a rematch against Moxley, and competed in Double or Nothing 2020's Casino Ladder match. But since then, he's mostly been forgotten about on the main shows and just appeared on Dark. AEW has evolved from its indie beginnings and has also brought in a number of bigger name signings that push Janela down the card. His 3-year deal is set to expire this May, and he's now told Denise Salcedo he won't be seeking to re-sign. You can watch the full interview on Denise's channel when it premieres today. While Janela has previously said he hoped to stay with the company, he's seemingly become frustrated with his situation behind the scenes, telling Barstool Sports last month, "You tell me, I don't know. I don't even talk to them. Yeah, I get a check, but I don't know what's going on. Some rumor says my contract is up on April 30th, so I don't know what the is going on. I think it will continue. If it doesn't, I look like a f***ing idiot right now." There's been rumors that others in Janela's position in AEW, like Peter Avalon, could also be on their way out when their contracts expire. Thankfully, Joey already has his indie work to get stuck into, running a new Spring Break show with GCW. Well, he'll not only face X-Pac, but Maven's on the card too. Maven! I thought he was still in the 2002 Royal Rumble. And that's not the only promotion Janela could work with, as he also tweeted, "I think I have to control my narrative," before following that up with a gif that said, "I'm just kidding," because Janela's other favourite thing to do other than wrestling is trolling the Control Your Narrative promotion. And they're not the only wrestling company Janela likes to dunk on. He used to wrestle for MLW, but publicly accused them of taking advantage of young talent back in January. MLW replied via their COO, telling Wrestling Inc., "I think Joey Janela, who is a corporate sellout, who has massive heat in AEW because he's unprofessional, he desperately wants to go to WWE, so he's kissing the ass of billionaires. He doesn't care how many wrestlers get screwed over and have opportunities taken away." It's a significant siding because MLW currently has a lawsuit against WWE, and WWE just bitch slapped them with a legal reply. Thanks for your support on Patreon, Shield Maiden the Zornice, and Chris the Cypriot Sensation Petru. Go over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk now for your own shout-outs. And mine and Luke's exclusive podcast review of TNA Victory Road 2011 later this week. MLW filed a lawsuit against WWE back in January, alleging that WWE had pressured companies like Vice TV, where MLW had a weekly show, and Tubi, which was apparently set to have a major streaming deal with them, to cancel their contracts and relationships with MLW. The lawsuit claims a WWE executive had specifically named Vince McMahon as not being happy with Vice working with another wrestling company, and accused the WWE of illegal antitrust tactics. MLW CEO Court Bauer declared in the original press release, "WWE has been wrongfully depriving its competitors of critical opportunities for many years, but its latest conduct has been even more unconscionable. I think we speak for the rest of the professional wrestling world when we say this anti-competitive behavior has to stop." WWE had until yesterday, the 15th of March, to reply. And reply they did, cutting the legal equivalent of a wrestling promo. The too long didn't read version is that WWE argue MLW can't justify any of their accusations, calling the claims unsupported by factual allegations and entirely implausible, and also MLW suck, because they then go one further, not just denying WWE interfered in MLW's relationships, but said MLW isn't good enough to get any streaming deals anyway? WWE's response points out that MLW have tried to sell their broadcast rights since 2017, but they haven't been able to make it work. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of other potential buyers of broadcast rights they could have gone to. Or maybe they should stop being so lazy and just start its own streaming service and reach consumers directly, which practically every other wrestling promotion has done. They also point towards AEW securing a $43.8 million per year deal with Warner Media to broadcast Dynamite. If WWE was so anti-competitive, wouldn't it stop them? In the killer promo line, WWE then say, MLW has given up competing in the ring and chosen instead to compete in the courtroom, arguing the lawsuit should be dismissed. The court then ordered a hearing for the 29th of September to hear WWE's arguments on the motion to dismiss the claim. MLW CEO Court Bauer, meanwhile, issued a statement on WWE's response to PW Insider and unintentionally used his own name as a threatening catchphrase. Of course WWE is scrambling to dismiss. They don't want this thing to go to court. I look forward to that opportunity. I'm Court Bauer, and I'll see you in court. To finish on some hopefully good news, Big E has tweeted an update on his injury. I'm actually home now, but Birmingham took good care of me. Big E suffered a broken neck on last Friday's SmackDown after a bad landing from a Ridge Holland suplex on the outside. In a fortunate coincidence, the show was taking place in Birmingham, Alabama, which is also where WWE's medical experts are based. He was diagnosed quickly with a non-displacement fracture of his C1 and C6 vertebrae, which one doctor posted on Reddit could be a career-ending injury. Hopefully Big E's early release from hospital is a good sign that it's not as serious as that. Remember that time when Randy Orton's finisher was a dropkick? Me neither. So watch 10 finishers you forgot famous wrestlers had over on PFK.
Yeah, if you really think about it, the concept of a finishing move really doesn't make much sense, does it? Would you really want your best offensive weapon to be easily recognizable and therefore easier to prepare for? That, of course, is ignoring the absurdity involved in naming a pre-existing move after yourself because wrestlers are all a bunch of self-obsessed hosers.